Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 20 of SEO Tales, where myself and Itamar are back as normal, and we are going to be talking about tips for blogging. Now, you may go, why the hell are these guys talking about tips for blogging? But all the time we read online and there's guys blogging, they're not monetizing it, they don't understand the different monetization options. And we want to just talk through some of the different ways that you can monetize a blog, because so many times when I've audited the website, people are putting their heart and soul into writing some good stuff, some great images, or whether it be cheats for a game, even, whatever, and there's no monetization going in behind it. And whether that's because they don't feel that they can monetize it, or just don't understand the whole monetization model. We'll talk about a few different tips. So Itamar, we'll start today on your blog. So you've recently put your blog together, the itamarblower.com, and you've obviously got a reason for it. I'm going to assume you're not just enjoying writing about SEO and the stuff that goes on. So what are you doing to monetize that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think with my blog, I'm a service provider, right? I provide SEO services to people, whether that's through consultation, whether that's through training. There needs to be a way for me to get leads, right? So I would say lead gen is the first way of me trying to monetize my site, getting ways for people to book calls with me so that I can kind of speak to them, try and do a bit of personal selling, get them sold onto the kind of services that I provide. But also, there's other things as well. Even lead gen in terms of capturing emails, so people subscribing to my newsletter. That's another way for me to use my blog to get more data, get more information from people who are kind of in my audience base, this, that, and the other. There's some affiliate stuff as well. Sometimes in certain blog posts, if I can incorporate some kind of affiliate links in there, then I do that. And I think these methods for me work because, it's the kind of thing that I suppose that in terms of lead gen stuff, you'd expect that from a service provider, right? You're not going to have a website of a service provider without any ways to contact them or any ways to kind of call them and that kind of stuff. So, for my blog, it's those kind of main, lead gen, providing a service, but also some affiliate stuff when I can kind of weave it in correctly. I don't go, I'm not an affiliate site where, I've just got a bunch of random articles trying to sell people different things off Amazon or whatever the platform is. And I think in my example, it goes to show that, I might, as much as I might like SEO and like blogging about SEO, and that's what my blog really is. It's to kind of, help people with different parts of SEO, get people more information so that they can apply stuff on their websites. But, it's not just the fact that I like writing this content. There's certain things that you need to get out of it. And I feel like you need to do that with anything that you do. Don't just kind of write stuff just because you like writing stuff. So, for example, if I'm going to be writing a blog post, I'll embed videos from YouTube on there. Why do I do that? Because I want people to watch that. And then when they watch that and they get that value, they might go ahead and subscribe and they might go ahead and share my video. So there's always a kind of method behind the madness in the sense that, you don't just kind of write a bunch of stuff out just for the sake of it. It needs to be planned out in some kind of process in terms of what you want to get out. So that's the kind of stuff that I do. Craig, obviously you do some similar stuff on your blog, but obviously you've got a lot more. You've got, the kind of courses that you've got that people can kind of check out. You've got training stuff, you've got the videos. So what do you do? I guess I'd ask, what do you do differently from what I do?
Nothing really, other than the scale, the length of time I've done it. I do sell training courses, I do sell services, I do build an email marketing list. I am capturing data through the Facebook pixel to allow me to retarget you. And do have other affiliate links in there, for example, SEMrush, or if there's a great tool out there that I feel is beneficial to the audience that I've got, then of course I'm going to do that and obviously monetize it. I've also got to put food on the table for my family, and everyone does. And this is what I do for a living, so I've got to monetize it. So I've got various tool providers on there. What I don't do is peddle garbage that I don't believe works, and I think that is something you need to be careful of, and something I want to highlight. So obviously you're going to peddle your services because you believe in yourself and the service that you offer, and that's one thing. That's perfectly fine to do for anyone, but there's a lot of guys out there who release blog posts on tools that they probably don't even try or haven't used or whatever. Someone's probably just went, hey man, here's 30-40% commission. Do you want to peddle this stuff? And that's also fine if that's the kind of guy you are. I've tried to do it slightly differently, where I'm not going to peddle every tool in the market, because I've wasted lots of money in different tools over the years that either I just didn't like or just didn't do everything they said. So I'm trying to be more of a refined, polished up one, where try and be a trusted source when it comes to digital marketing, in terms of if I find an amazing new tool for email marketing, I will certainly blog about it. And if it's going to save people money or it's got extra functionality that none of us are doing, then great, I want to tell the world about it. And I'll do videos on it. I'll get the owner on and we'll talk about it in a podcast. So I'm trying to do stuff like that because I'm enthusiastic about what we do, and I think automation and everything else is something that's constantly growing. So I'm not doing anything that different from what you're doing. I'm just doing it in probably a bigger way, just because I've been doing it for longer. I've got a lot more blog posts and that's it. So that's one way of monetizing it, but I have come across many other bloggers who have a lot more than that on their blog, and they've got AdSense running, they're selling Amazon affiliate stuff, they've got all sorts of stuff going on, and there are so many other ways that you can monetize a blog. And I've seen that again. Travel bloggers is the worst. I see so many travel bloggers out there doing some great stuff, posting amazing images of amazing places they've visited across the world, and they don't monetize it at all. And you're just like, why are you doing this? And they're probably just like, yeah, I just wanted to travel for a year and document my journey. And you're like, fuck, why don't you have booking.com on there? Why don't you have this, that, and the next thing? Even the equipment you're using for traveling, you could sell loads of that, the cameras and all of the stuff you're using to record all of that footage, you could push that. But there are many other ways you can monetize a blog as well, such as, lead gen for kind of local companies. I know a lot of guys that have thrown up websites or blogs, if you want to call them that. It's still the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Blanket an area, for roofers and Grimsby or whatever, and cover every other surrounding area, generate leads. I think the old things like AdSense and stuff, you need serious volume to make AdSense work for you. But, you've got to use your blog as a driver of traffic to something, and you can make money through YouTube as well. If you can use your blog to highlight a whole bunch of great videos on a particular subject, and even if it's a niche subject like fishing or, some of the dancing that you do, Itamar, what do you call the one that's on your website, and you're doing some kind of swing dancing? These are all niche things which I'm sure get thousands of search on YouTube as well. And I'm not suggesting that you now go and monetize swing dancing along with your SEO, but you may have another blog about swing dancing and maybe teaching people how to do it and stuff like that. It's not just a generic dancing thing. It's a very specific type of dancing, and a lot of people are passionate about that stuff and maybe want to learn. Whether it's for fitness reasons, whether it's for socializing reasons, whether it's for whatever other reason. You're just passionate about that kind of dancing, and I think that's the great thing about blogging, is that there is so many different things in the world that you could blog about, food even, whatever, and you can monetize it in one way, shape, or form, whether that's through YouTube, through AdSense, through any other form of advertising, booking.com, private affiliates, or even selling the leads on to someone. You don't even have to get your hands dirty. You can basically, put a phone number on there, get it tracked, charge the guy per phone call, per lead, track the forms, do all of that stuff, and have a lead gen website so you can get involved as much as you want in terms of, like you, Itamar, you could be on there dancing and all that in all the videos and take a big part in the whole thing. Or you could just basically provide the content and a phone number and have a more hands-off role. And I think that is some ways that you can, utilize your blog. But you must have seen it yourself, Itamar. There'll be guys out there in some of these niches, including like the swing dancing or whatever. I can guarantee if I was to Google that just now, there'll be blogs out there that are just not monetized whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot, and you see that probably in most niches or every niche. You'll find blogs out there that I don't know if it's whether they haven't thought about how they can monetize, or maybe they've tried and it hasn't worked, or maybe they think, there's no way I'm going to make money out of this. And I feel like that last one, that mindset of thinking, I'm just going to blog because I like it, but I don't really think, like, I'm not doing it for the money. And I feel like that reasoning is something that you hear most of the time, where people are like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not doing this for the money. Maybe they've got another job. Maybe they just do blogging on the side. But, even if you do that on the side, there are still, as Craig mentioned, there are loads of ways that you can monetize your blog. So there's no reason why you shouldn't do it. But maybe people just don't know, maybe people are lazy. Let's assume that everyone is lazy. So Craig, what's the easiest way to monetize a blog? Just standard.
And I would say private affiliates. I think, whether it's fishing, whether it's dancing, whether it's SEO, there's got to be some equipment or some tools that you're going to need for that particular job, or, boats or whatever. So if I'm really passionate about boats, for example, I could blog about the boats. I could do lead gen for guys that sell boats. I could sell all of the kind of stuff that you need for a boat, cleaning equipment, and, obviously accessories and improvements to your boat. So I think the kind of selling equipment and, products and stuff like that is the easiest, because you can do that through the lowest form of commission through Amazon. But if you look for private companies, private wholesalers or whatever, who do supply that equipment and give you a better commission, you're much better going through them and, promoting what they have. And even with boats, you've got like fenders for a boat, you've got cleaning equipment, you've got new radios, stereos, lights, navigation systems. All of that stuff costs a lot of money, and you can make good commission on it. So, and I'm pretty sure, regardless of what niche you're passionate about or you're blogging about, there will almost certainly be multiple options, to do that. And I think, AdSense, as I said to you, is also very easy, but you need sheer volume for that to be worth your while. If you're fortunate enough to be in a niche where your videos or your website is driving in hundreds of thousands of people, I see no reason why you wouldn't add AdSense to it. But what I do personally hate is seeing a blog that's over monetized, so it's got everything on it. It's got AdSense, it's got affiliate, it's got everything on there. And not because, that I'm jealous, that guy's, advertising everything. I think it just looks a little cluttered and just takes the value away from a blog as well if you see it plastered with monetization things. You know, as I say, I totally get anyone in the world's here to make money, but when you've got AdSense and, you know, banner ads running and all sorts of stuff going on, you're just like, man, I can see exactly what you're doing here. This is just a big mishmash of junk, and is the thing that I'm even reading true? That and I think that is the other side of it as well. And so it can be easy, and I think people can. And you said that, my people get lazy. I think people are also greedy out there as well, and they can overdo it. So for anyone listening, be careful not to overdo it as well, because I just think it takes that trust side of things away. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. And it's not even just that. I feel like, you know, if you've got so much AdSense on your site, right, your page speed's going to be horrible. Like, it's going to take ages to load your site. And as soon as somebody lands on your site, the first thing that they'll see is the ads, right? And they're just going to literally leave your site anyway. They're not going to engage with your site. And that's going to be horrible for the kind of brand that you're building, or for your blog or whatever. So I feel like, you know, you need to avoid the extremes. So don't have like no monetization, but don't have all of the monetization. I feel like you make a good point that people are quite greedy by nature. Humans are quite greedy. So, you know, do as best as you can to be moderate in terms of how you monetize your blog. I wouldn't say, you know, as much as it sounds nice to go for everything. So you've got the affiliate, you've got the AdSense, you know, you put a bunch of YouTube videos on there, you do lead gen. It's all well and good, but you need to think about how your users are going to behave as well. You know, the human mind can't, you know, it can't take all of these actions and want to perform them, as well as, you know, people land on your blog to read your content. They don't come on your blog to start engaging with ads. So you need to be really careful about, you know, the kind of user journey that people have. So, you know, and that's why I think, as you mentioned, Craig, the affiliate or the private affiliate stuff is going to be your best bet, because at least if you've got a blog that looks very clean, let's say it has no ads on it, and you've got a great guide, let's say about boats and equipment and stuff like that, and you put in some private affiliate links in there, and I mean, you might get loads of commission on these products that cost a lot of money. So, you know, as long as you kind of keep your blog looking professional, looking clean, and that's why I kind of tend to go away from AdSense unless, like you say, I've got a blog with, you know, 100,000 monthly visitors. In that case, I would have maybe, you know, some ads placed on the sidebar or towards the bottom. But generally speaking, I would avoid that because I feel like AdSense, as well as a monetization platform, I feel like it's quite old. You know, it's stuff that you would have seen so much of, you know, like over a decade ago, because that was probably the biggest form of earning money through blogging back in the day. But, you know, now times have changed. You've got to become a lot more modern. You've got to think like a modern blogger. And I feel like a lot of people still get stuck in the past. Maybe they've been blogging for so many years and they're like, oh, I've used AdSense, you know, like 20 years ago, whatever. And they still kind of use it. And I think, you know, you've got to get with the times, if that may, you know, in terms of phrasing it like that. But really, you've got to think of the user journey. You've got to, you know, don't put so many ads on to slow your site down and get people off it. Don't be greedy with it. And you just got to be smart. I think it's also one of those things that it depends on the niche that you're in, because in certain niches, you know, you're better off, like in the boat one, you're better off just having a blog that's very professional, very reputable about, you know, guides in terms of like boat equipment, things like that. And you're better off just getting private affiliate stuff on there in these guides. So, you know, I think you just got to be smart about it. Do your research beforehand. Don't just kind of jump into monetization thinking, all right, today I'm going to monetize my blog. Let me just, you know, get some ads from anywhere. You've got to keep it relevant, I think. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums all of it up, isn't it? Is there anything that hasn't been mentioned?
No, I think, you know, these are the kind of standard monetization models, and we pretty much have covered them. I know it's a basic subject, but I think a lot of people don't think about the monetization of a blog or why they're doing it. And I think us to to just remind people gently that, you know, there is a purpose to this. There's a reason why you're spending your time blogging, and it's not to, in most cases, it's certainly not to make a journal. Of course, there'll be an instance where someone maybe does want to document a journey or something, which is perfectly fine, and you may not want to monetize that. But I think for, you know, the vast majority of cases, you know, do consider the monetization as well, because it's obviously nice to get some side income. Could pay for a holiday, it could be a full-time job, you know, depending on the volume and scale that you go in at it. And like you, Itamar, you know, you're starting out with your blog as such, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, that blog will still be kicking about. The offerings may have changed slightly, but I'm sure what we'll see is a lot more blogs on there, you know, volume, variations of different things, you know, whether it be, you know, tools, products, whatever, you know, you just never know. But I think, you know, there's always going to be that long-term goal, and you're going to be blogging, you know, certainly for me. You know, I never thought that my blog was going down and it was a 1 year job or anything. This is something that evolves over a 5 or a 10 or a, you know, even longer period. So start out as you mean to go on, and make sure that the blog pays for itself, and some fun along the way.
Absolutely. I think you summed it up quite nicely. And yeah, I think that's a nice way to end it there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode 20 of SEO Tales. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like rating below, leave a comment, and subscribe to both our YouTube channels. That would be much appreciated. And as always, we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.
Cheers.